So you've decided to join the military, but don't know how. Or maybe you're considering it, but still also don't know how. Where do you go? With whom do you speak? Who's telling you the truth? It is my pleasure to talk to you today about this process. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, TeamWillbob. I'm Staff Sergeant Robert Williams, a recruiter for the Washington Army National Guard. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you can get my new videos in the future. And if this video helps you, please do me a favor and hit that like button so that the algorithm will show it to more people. Yes, I'm a recruiter for the Army National Guard, but this process is fairly general for all the branches. And I just want to make sure you get the right information so you can make the best decision for you, which is also the best decision for the country. Before you go speak to a recruiter, obviously you've either decided to join or you're considering it. The first thing you need to do is ask yourself a very important question. Why are you doing this? Any answer is really okay, as long as it's legal. Knowing why helps you make your final decision, and it also helps us help you pick a job. You should also consider what job fields you are interested in. Not necessarily a specific exact job, but broad strokes, because either you might not qualify for that job, or while looking, you might find a job you like even better. Always be open to new opportunities. Think about your long-term and short-term goals. Do you want to go to college? There's a good likelihood that being in a reserve component like the National Guard is a much better idea for you. Do you just need a full-time job right now? Active duty might very well be the route you need to go. So having a good idea if you want to be in a reserve component or an active duty component is really something that will be good to know before you talk to one of us. Lastly, what questions do you have? Write them all down, and when you finally meet with a recruiter, you can ask anything, and I mean anything. Now you're ready to go find a recruiter. The best way to do that is call up your local National Guard recruiter. Yes, it's kind of a joke, and obviously I'm a little biased, but in all honesty, if you need help finding another recruiter, I can look them up for you. I can tell you their name and their phone number. I have no problem doing that. I want what's best for you. Go ahead and talk to more than one service, more than one component. Yes, we all have our own individual jobs to do, but we really do want what's best for you because, like I said earlier, that's what's best for the country. But let us know that you're doing this, and especially let us know when you've made a decision on which one you're going to work with. This will also be kind of a test of all the branches and the recruiters, because if you find one that's bad-mouthing others, that's really unprofessional and kind of desperate on their part. And lastly, obviously, decide to join the Army National Guard. But all joking aside, whatever you decide, I'm just glad that you decided to join our fraternity. Now, when you talk to those recruiters, you're going to find out if you're qualified or not. We will all ask you questions to see if you do actually qualify. And here's our pre-screen process. Age. You generally have to be between 17 and 34. The age maximum changes from branch to branch, and in the case of the Air Force, from component to component. But just know that we are absolutely allowed to do this. It's not a matter of are we allowed to ask your age. We are required by law to ask and verify your age. And please stop asking if 23 is too old. Physical condition. We are going to ask your height and your weight to make sure that you can meet those standards. We're going to make sure you're generally in good shape or can get there with some help from us. We're going to ask if you have braces, glasses, or body piercings. We're going to ask if you were prior service. This is really the same process, but there's a little bit more paperwork, and sometimes some branches won't be able to allow you in. Legal issues. Any issues with the police? Ever. Yes, we absolutely can ask about your juvenile, expunged, whatever records. The government can get those, and we have to verify those. Also, do you do drugs or have you done any in the past? Education. high school diploma, GED, college degree, some college, some trade school clock hour programs. There are a lot of ways to meet the education requirement. Medical. You must generally be in good medical condition. You can't be on medication with like 3 exceptions. But the gist is that as long as you can do the job without extra accommodations and you will be safe and you won't have an extra layer of danger in a military situation and you will not be putting your peers in danger, the doctor should try and show that you can pass. Also, you can get a lot of medical waivers. Dependents. Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you pay child support? Do you have a baby on the way? For whom do you have to financially and physically provide? We just want to make sure you're able to do that and that you will be doing the right thing. Tattoos. As long as your tattoos aren't offensive in some way and they're not on your hands, neck, head, face, you should be good. If you have a little bit of permanent makeup or a tattooed ring, 1 per hand, you should probably be good with that. If one branch says you are disqualified, I'd call another. Some have different standards, so you might be disqualified for one, but qualified for another. Some just don't want to do the work for a waiver, and there are some recruiters that are just new and have never seen your uber-specific situation. All of this screening might be done in a phone call, just so you know. Once you've determined if you are qualified, next you will meet a recruiter. Sometimes, like if you just walk into a recruiter's office, these steps will be combined. This might be in person or it might be over a video chat. There are many different reasons to do a virtual interview. This is where you will ask all of your questions. Yes, you can do it over the phone, but getting those answers face-to-face works much better. One thing you should really consider is that this is a job interview. Yes, we are more lax on certain things, so don't be nervous, but do not act like you are better than us, smarter than us, too good for us, or just be a jerk. I can absolutely throw you out of my office. We will sit down and figure out why you want to join. And we're going to use that to show you why joining is a good idea. Because even though you sat down in that chair, you might not be totally committed. And you might be just looking for answers. And we will be able to provide that to you and show you how we can help you. And we will be able to give you an honest answer if we think you would be able to actually get in. You should be taking a practice Asvab at this point. It'll take between 15 and 30 minutes usually. If it takes you over an hour, you're probably gonna be in a little bit of a trouble. We will have you sign some forms. No, this is absolutely not a contract, but there are some things we are required to do up front, like your police record check. We also have to have you acknowledge that we are not able to socialize outside of this professional relationship. Your recruiter will be friendly, but we are not allowed to be your friend. Sometimes a branch will have you do a swearing ceremony telling you that now you're not allowed to work with other branches. That's not true. The only swearing ceremonies that count are the ones at MEPS. We will give you a packet to fill out or have you sit down at our computer to fill it out right then and there. We really do ask for a lot of information, and every branch, regardless of what your job is, will be asking all of these same questions and requiring all the same information. You may have multiple meetings after this with your recruiter, depending on your needs and your effort. If you bring us 1 document a week and we ask you to bring back 6 things, that's going to prolong the process and that's going to be all on you. Your recruiter should give you a list of all the things that they know already that you will have to bring back next time. And most people can bring back most, if not all of that, within a day or so. Though some of these things take longer to get currently because of the pandemic. Once you complete this packet, you will fill out a lot more forms. Yes, we do need your banking info so that we can pay you. Again, it's not are we allowed to, it's we're required to do it by law so that we pay you direct deposit. And then we will schedule you to go to MEPS, the Military Entrance Processing Station. Now, picking your job differs by what branch you're in. With the Army National Guard, you pick your job before you go to MEPS. We have to be able to tell you where your unit will be, where your advanced individual training will be, and what your job actually is. In Army Active Duty and Army Reserves, you'll pick that job at MEPS. The other branches might have you pick like 10 jobs or a few job areas while you're at MEPS, and they will schedule you and tell you what your job is a little bit later, or you might not know your job until you've completed boot camp or basic training. When you go to MEPS, we do have a dress code. Seriously, do not go out and spend $100 on a nice outfit. You do not have to go there in big professional attire. What you need to wear, underwear. This includes bras, nothing with holes that aren't absolutely required, like for your head to come out of. Closed-toed shoes, Crocs do not count. No white t-shirts, they consider that to be an undergarment, and you have to have something over your undergarments. You can't be wearing anything offensive, no curse words, no offensive symbols that you shouldn't be associating with anyway. Underwear, no yoga or other tight pants, no piercings in anywhere, no piercings can be in at all. You have to wear socks, and again, underwear. Please wear underwear. Once you get there, the first thing you're going to do is take your Asvab, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. Everyone who enlists in any armed service will take this. If you're joining with the Army, you will take what's called the TAPAS, which is a personality test. It doesn't have any bearing on what you can do, but we're using it to gather data to see if your personality can show your likelihood for success. And the only data they've found in several years is that if you're motivated, you're more likely to succeed. If you're going for a job that requires another test, like you want to be a linguist, you might take the Defense Language Aptitude Battery or the Defense Language Proficiency Test, or you might take a cyber test, or if you're looking to be a pilot, you'll take a pilot aptitude test. Those generally are taken at an additional day. So doing those does lengthen your process, but if that's what you want to do, absolutely do it. Don't shy away or let anyone else deter you from trying to get the job that you want if you will likely qualify. Then you have your physical. This is generally the next day. Normally, between your test and your physical, we put you up in a hotel for the night, and then when we bring you back in the next morning. The first thing you're going to do is fill out another medical questionnaire. This is to make sure that you've filled out the other one correctly, and no matter what, you're going to need to put yes in one answer at least. It's a question asking, are you healthy enough to take the physical today? There are a couple of reasons for this. One, we do want to make sure you're healthy enough. We don't want you getting everybody else sick in this room, especially in the last year and a half. And it's also to make sure you're just paying attention and actually reading everything. And lastly, it's to make sure that the recruiter didn't just tell you, say no to everything. It's an integrity check all the way around. They're going to try and scare you and say that you are going to spend 5 years in jail, be fined $10,000 if you lied about anything. This is really just to scare you into answering honestly, which you should be doing anyway, but also it's a catch-all for if you're trying to join the military for the purpose of furthering illegal activities, they can put you in jail for that. So please don't join the military to do illegal things. Also in this room, you'll do a breathalyzer to make sure you're not drunk. Please don't drink and go to MEPS. After that, you're going to go through a series of tests, and they do not have to be done in any specific order. Basically, you just find the shortest line and go get in that one to try and get done as fast as possible. You will go through 2 vision tests, a normal, can you see, how is your depth perception, and a color vision test, which can determine if you can see two colors when they're put on top of each other and read something. You will have a blood draw to see if you're like anemic or whatever else they check for. You're going to do a urinalysis to make sure you're not on drugs. Please don't do any kind of drugs. You're going to do a hearing test, and they will check your vital signs like your blood pressure and your heart rate. Either after all that or somewhere in the middle, you're also going to go to the room where you're going to be in a group of all people of the same gender. You're going to strip down to your underwear. This is where they're going to have you do things like the duck walk, close your eyes, touch your nose, do cherry pickers, walk back and forth a few different ways to make sure your musculoskeletal system and your neurological system are working correctly. And they're also going to be checking you for tattoos and scars. They want to make sure that those line up with what you put on the medical form, and also make sure that they're not like extremist, that they do qualify, and to make sure you don't have any evidence of intentional self-harm or other scars from surgeries that you might not have disclosed. After you're done with the room, you will go see the doctor individually. When I say individually, you can request a chaperone if you feel you need that. They're going to first check over, see if you have any hemorrhoids, and then they will do a basic exterior female exam. He or she will probably try to scare you to see if you just haven't disclosed anything else, because our main concern is to make sure that you and your battle buddies are going to be safe with whatever medical conditions that you have. This is where people like to come clean and tell the doctor things that you weren't comfortable telling your recruiter. Now, if this happens and you did not tell your recruiter, please don't tell them that you did. If you tell them something that disqualifies you, trying to pin it on us will not give you a pass for your physical. If you're done, you're just done. Nothing you can say will change that. Also, don't tell them what you think they want to hear. Tell the truth. The truth is the most likely thing to get you to pass. Lastly, ignore the theory that they've got to find something small, so I might as well tell them. No, plenty of people have no medical issues and can get through MEPS just fine. If you try to come up with something just so they can find it, that will probably stop your process. Just stick to the truth and the simple truth, okay? The doctors genuinely want you to pass. They do have a difficult job and they have to maintain the standard, but they actually care and they want you to have the opportunity to serve. Assuming that you passed your Asvab and the physical, the next person you're going to go see is the guidance counselor. They will go over your entire packet, make sure everything's correct, and make sure everything meets whatever standards there are. And then you're going to pick the job however you do it. Like I said, the Army, you know your job then. Other branches you might not know for a while. And one thing to note, they are still evaluating you to see if you qualify. So if you tell them something that you didn't tell your recruiter and you didn't tell the doctor, they can stop your process. Please do not sit down and have a chit chat with the guidance counselor about all the weed you smoked yesterday. Not me, not somebody I work with, but I had a coworker that had that happen with an applicant. Please don't be that guy. They're the people then that are going to write your full contract. After your contract's done, you're going to go get your fingerprints taken. This is especially why we ask you, has anything ever happened with the cops or other legal matters? Like, have you been sued? Okay? Because if you've ever been fingerprinted or you've ever been named in court, this is where it's going to pop up. If we already know about it, it's fine. We let you in knowing about it, you're good. But there can be problems if you didn't tell us about things and they just show up later. However, don't worry, like if you genuinely forgot about something small, we just write a memo and you should be okay. But if we find you're an axe murderer, it's not going to be okay. The next thing you're going to do is swear in. You're going to go do the ceremony where you raise your right hand, swear or affirm an oath to the Constitution, whatever your religious background allows. And then you will go back to the guidance counselor, give them the paper that shows that you did actually swear in. And then congratulations, you might be a member of the military. If you join active duty, you will actually swear in again when you go to ship. And you're not technically a member of the military until you go swear in that second time. For the reserves and National Guard, as of the day you swear in, you are an active member of the military. You will go to your drill weekends and you will start getting paid as a member of the military. Now, go watch my video series about citizenship through military service to see why that's actually important. I will do another video soon to go over what happens between joining and shipping out to basic training. But for right now, thank you for your decision to defend our country. You're a damn fine American. Thanks for watching Team Willbob and learning about the process for how to join the military. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. And if you want to ask a question, throw it down in the comments. Send me a text, give me a call, or send me a Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp message. Have a great day.